couple of goals, Kovacic, Doku, Haaland and McAtee. Assists for Foden, De Bruyne twice, Doku and Kovacic. A brilliant display from City, which has taken them up to 4th in the Premier League table, and quite sensational performance as well, as Pep Guardiola gives a huge hug to his former goalkeeper Aro Muric, who certainly enjoyed the hug from Pep Guardiola. The Man of the Match award has gone to Phil Foden for a quite breathtaking display. Kovacic was impressive as well, Doku equally so, and the Blues have warmed up for that huge match in Paris on Wednesday night in the Champions League with a wonderful display of football, great attacking play which has seen 3 goals in both halves of the game, and a big enough margin of victory to take them into the top 4. And of course that will be a statement as well to all those who were thinking that City may be slipping out of contention for that. A brilliant display from the Blues, and a final score at Portman Road of Ipswich Town 0, City 6. And just holding on for the moment as we wait to throw down to FG and Michael Brown at pitchside, but that's not going to happen. So instead, let's go back to the Etihad Stadium, where I'm sure things are livening up ahead of the WSL Manchester derby. So let's go over to Natalie Park.
Thank you so much to Alistair Mann and to Michael Brown for the wonderful commentary. What a start to the day. 6-0 for the men away at Ipswich. An incredible performance. I'm still joined by Steve Howie. Steve, what did you make of that?
Very comfortable but emphatic as well at the same time. I mean, listen, to be fair to Ipswich's fight is not with Manchester City, it's with the teams that's kind of around them. I mean, we're basically sort of saying, start the second half, if Man City can keep control, maybe get an early goal, then they'll be absolutely fine. They did do that with Doku. It's a great strike from him. Yeah, it takes a little deflection, but I think the goalkeeper was struggling anyway. Doku then becomes provider with a lovely little ball to Haaland, which he slots away, so he's delighted he's off the mark after signing the new contract as well. And then McAtee with a lovely deft header. So, as I said, it's disappointing for Ipswich, but Man City, great result. Brings them back up to 4th, which is above Newcastle. So back in...
Which you doubly like.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not a Newcastle fan, so I've got no fight in the dog of the fight there. So, yeah, a wonderful win, 6-0, very, very convincing.
OK, we're going to go now over to pitchside to FG and Michael Brown.
Full time, ladies and gentlemen, from Portman Road as Edison comes over and gives his shirt to the fans. 6-0 winners and a clean sheet for that man as well.
Yeah, he'd be delighted to have a clean sheet, that's for certain. He'd been waiting for that for the football club, haven't we? But look at that there, that tells you everything, doesn't it? How good that is, that it feels good to be back, doesn't it? To get a top result like this, as Pep Guardiola has come celebrating behind as well. So a special away performance. Big statement win, that FG.
I mean, when you speak about fans in England and you look at how far these guys have travelled for a game like this, they deserve every single moment of this.
Well, they did. You just look at the celebrations there at the end with the players coming over. They know that these have deserved a big result like this because they've stuck with it. It's been difficult times. I knew it was coming. Someone was going to get a right take here, and that was one of those moments. Some top performances, and look how we ended the game as well with all of those young players on the pitch. It could have been a lot more as well.
And it's just absolute good vibes, like all throughout the fans, all throughout today. Everything we've been through, to win 6-0 at a place like this is sensational, isn't it?
Well, it is, you know. Obviously, people will say it's Ipswich Town, they're towards the bottom, it's a new club to the Premier League. But you've got to do what you've got to do, and it's about building confidence, building belief. Phil Foden going away, getting goals. We've seen Haaland, seen Jeremy Doku with good performance, and just seeing all the youngsters getting on. You know, and what's been really good in today's performance, not just the result and the goals today, being able to rest players ready for another big game in the week, and that's obviously been one of those situations which we've needed to do, haven't we? Been able to rest players because of the big game.
And a very, very, very special message for our neighbours who lost today. City win, United lose. There's a big gap being formed, isn't there?
Yeah, I think we can hear that, you know, about the best team in the land and all the world. I mean, it doesn't get any better, but you know, the joy, they've come such a long way, these supporters today, and that'll give everybody great delight, and now hopefully we can move on, keep winning, putting pressure on, into the top 4 and then continue.
And listen, you're a popular man in the away section, as always. And listen, City are back, the man says. And you know what? It'd be hard to agree when you win 6-0 away from home. It's been good vibes here at Portman Road. And I'd like to think City are back. Brownie, excellent work as always.
It was
mate.
a great day, wasn't it? Great afternoon of football. I've enjoyed the commentary. Fantastic.
Well, we've enjoyed listening to you on commentary as well. And we'll be back. Paris next, and then Chelsea at home. We will see you there. Let's head to a very happy studio.
Thank you so much to FG and to Michael Brown and to all of those City fans that travelled all the way to Ipswich and made such a noise today as well. Congratulations to the men's team. Now, they were singing City win, United lose. Let's hope that we are singing that in a few hours again, because we are here inside the Etihad Stadium ahead of the Manchester derby. City taking on United in the WSL. Still joined by the wonderful Steve Howie, who is working very hard today. And we are now joined by a very special guest. We are super excited. She is one of women's football's absolute original stars. We are so thrilled to have her back here today. It's Tony Duggan. Welcome, Tony.
Oh, thank you. It's been a while, but so glad to be back.
Your first time on the show. We're hoping it'll be the first of many.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, you know, I had such a good time at Man City, you know, playing here, and the memories, even just walking to the Etihad today, and I was just like, wow, it feels like yesterday. Bit jealous of the girls that I'm not out on the pitch, but in a different position now to talk about them, and hopefully they get the win today.
Absolutely, and we're really excited to be talking to you. You'll be with us at half-time and full-time as well. So, Manchester derby, let's find out the City team for today. So in goal it is Keating, and then it's Kasparai, Alexandri, Nak, Uwabi, Hasegawa, Park, Rord, Virgino, Fowler, and Miedema starts. She is back. And there you can see the subs there are on your screen as well. So, Tony, what do you make of that starting 11 for City?
Strong. I mean, the obvious pointers that everyone's talking about is, you know, the players that aren't there. Obviously, Bunny Shaw, Alex Greenwood and Lauren Hemp, you know, the impact that they have on this team, not just on the pitch but off it. You know, they're real leaders. But, you know, the team will be buzzing to have Miedema back. She's experienced. Even Jo Rourke coming back after a big injury, you know, I think for me she's been one of the stars. I think they've missed that in midfield, that presence. So I think she'll step up to the occasion today because they're going to need it. You know, a Manchester derby at the Etihad, you need all the experience that you got. So I'll be looking to them two girls today. But it's going to be a good game. I think that's a strong lineup, attacking. You know, it's good to see Jess Park in there as well. I think she's having a good season as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the game goes.
And she scored two wonderful goals in the Manchester derby that was here last season. Do you know what I read? I can't believe it. You left before United became a professional women's team.
I know.
So you never played in a derby. I feel like you would have thrived in a derby.
Oh, I would have loved it. And you know what? There was so much speculation all the time. United are starting a women's team, and I couldn't wait because I was used to playing in the derbies in Liverpool, you know, Liverpool v Everton, and although Liverpool wasn't so good at the time, it was still a derby day, you know, whereas this now, you know, there's 1 point between the two teams. I would do anything to be out on that pitch, especially against Man United coming from Liverpool as well. But yeah, I was so gutted that I missed them big. You know, what great games they was. Did you play in any, Steve?
I played in a couple. Drew one, lost one.
It's different, isn't it? It's getting up for the game. It's just different, but I definitely think how close the teams are at this moment in time as well. It adds that different dimension.
Do you know what, Tony? He's playing it down a bit because he scored in a derby.
Oh, we kept that quiet.
Yeah, there you're a team.
Oh, look, here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Back post.
Yes, Steve.
Sniffing. They called me the poacher.
Was that 1-1?
Yes, I think it was.
I think I was there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was there for that one.
Yeah.
Love that shirt as well.
Yeah.
It's not a poacher's goal. You were in the right place. Surely that was a well-worked set piece.
It was me and Dickie had a word. Dickie had a word with us before it and sort of said, I'll be putting it in this area. And of course, he just took a chance. It takes a flick on from, I think, one of their players. Just trying to get something onto it, but yeah.
Seen Gary Neville down there somewhere, we'll show him that.
Yeah. Love that, Tony. Nearly perfect for this show. In terms of scoring in a derby, Steve, did it feel even better?
Did it feel better?
Yeah, because it was a derby.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a derby, and you know, we were struggling at the time, and I think that game, if I remember rightly, they could have actually put us down that day. So, I mean, on the day itself, they had so many chances, but I thought we defended quite well as a team. Goalkeeper had a great game. They missed some big chances. But I think just to get that draw and to make sure that they didn't send us down, that was the main thing. I mean, we shouldn't really have been in that position anyway, but we were. But at least it wasn't them that did it.
Well, hopefully we'll be talking about some new Manchester City players scoring in a derby today, or indeed ones that have scored before. I'd love to see Jess Park getting on the score sheet as well. It's wonderful that we've got Miedemar back. You mentioned it before. She picked up that injury in October. She came back as a substitute for last week's FA Cup game and scored, Tony. I mean, what a way to come back. Really important, given that Bunny is out, that we've got her back fit and starting today.
Yeah, and scoring as well in your first game back, for the confidence. Not that she needs it, she's always been a super confident player and always been electric in front of goal. But I think, it's frustrating for Gareth, because I think he'd be desperate to have Bunny and Miedemar fit together. They haven't had that maybe the first game of the season, first 2 games of the season, but and I think that could be the difference in the title race. So it's important that they get Bunny back fit as soon as possible, because what weapons they could be together.
Oh, absolute God, yeah, I'd love to see the two of them playing together more. Now, Tony mentioned it a minute ago, Gary Neville is in the house tonight. He's also alongside Jill Scott. They are filming for The Overlap, and a little earlier they spoke to Ellen and Liam pitchside.
Well, welcome back to the Etihad Stadium, and we have 2 very special guests indeed. Please put your hands together for Jill Scott and Gary Neville. Don't worry, Gary, we've got a nice corner over here. We've got a split cam. There's plenty who are on your side in this corner. Jill, we have to start with you. Welcome back. What's it like to be back pitch side here?
Oh, no, it's so good. I think when I walk out, I want to run onto that pitch, and then I remember that I can't because my knees are dodgy. But it's always great to come back and, yeah, see all the fans and everyone.
You're always welcome back, you know that. Gary...
Am I?
Well, you're here now. You're here now. 10th Manchester derby between the women. The growth over the course of the last couple of years has been incredible, and to host it in this incredible stadium, whether you want to admit it or not, in terms of the stadium, it's a really cool spectacle, isn't it?
It's the most pleasant this stadium has ever been to me, so thank you very much. No, I'm really looking forward to the game tonight. It's the first WSL game that I've attended, and it's been a pretty poor weekend for me. United have got beat this afternoon. Salford got beat yesterday, and they got beat here last week pretty well as well. So I'm hoping for a better result tonight. Obviously, the most of this crowd aren't.
Yeah, don't worry, we won't ask you about the last time one of the teams you were affiliated with visited here. The teams are out though, so please put your hands together for Manchester City as our girls in blue make their way out for their warm-up. Jill, you've had a quick look at the team sheet. Yeah. It's a very, very strong City squad, and particularly in terms of the additions that we've already made this window, it's an exciting time to be a City fan.
Yeah, just had a quick look there, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. Obviously, Jill Road, I know she's been back from injury for a few games, but she's really hit the ground running. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a while to get back from injury, but she's smashing it. Obviously Miedemar as well, I'm expecting a couple of goals from her, but it's going to be a great game, and yeah, I'm genuinely so excited to be here as a fan.
Gary, you've played in a fair few Manchester derbies. What makes it different to the other games?
I think just the local rivalry, the passion, the fact that families, I'm just seeing here, there's City and United fans both sitting together, and obviously City is divided, but I think it's a very special atmosphere in Manchester derby. It always has been. I had one of my worst ever experiences in a Manchester derby where Sean Goldter took the ball off me and scored. So I've had good games, I've had bad games. My last game here was the day that I actually kissed Paul Scholes when he scored the winner late on. So I have had good days here as well.
It's funny, one of your worst
and then also the kids, so
who knew, eh?
Welcome back. We were mesmerised there by the light show that is going on behind us. Tony and I were watching it, and it looks wonderful, it looks beautiful here inside the Etihad Stadium. We'll give you now the Manchester United team news. It's less than 10 minutes now from kick-off, so this is the starting 11 for Manchester United today. So in goal it's Tulis Joyce, and then it's George who's the captain, Letitia, Toon, Galton, Riviere, Visit, Janssen, Turland, Miyazawa and Turner. The substitutes there you can see on the bench. The big team news there for Tony, I would say, for Manchester United is of course having Ella Toon back. Again, she picked up an injury, I think it was November. She played in their FA Cup game last week, similar of course to Viv, and she's back starting this week. Big player for them, loves a worldie of a goal.
Yeah, she does. She actually scored one last week as well, back with a bang, and it was a great goal, but she's gone through a tough time of late, obviously a tragedy in her family, she's had the injury, so it'll be interesting to see how she does today. I think Grace Clinton's on the bench, and I think that's a big call by Mark Skinner. I read in his press conference before the game saying how he'd love them both to play together at one point, but it's not the right occasion for it, so it has to be either Ella or Grace. I'm sure Grace will be really disappointed, but in a Manchester derby, there's no one else you want out there than Ella Toone. She will be desperate to score today. I don't think she's scored past City before, and she's obviously a United fan, so she will be desperate to score.
Yeah, it always feels like a City fan, a United fan in a Manchester derby has that little extra edge. Of course, we've seen that with Phil Foden over the years. Steve, City have an incredible record in Manchester derbies, never beaten at home in one. Here inside the Etihad Stadium with a packed crowd. That going to go in our favour today?
Yeah, you would like to think so. I mean, that's why you want to play at home and get your home fans behind you. We've just seen the light display as well. I mean, the energy before the game is absolutely brilliant. The players will be in there before the game and they'll be making sure they're geeing everybody up. But then again, you don't really need a great deal for games like this. If anything, you know how important they are, you know how big they are. Not only is it the bragging rights, because it's so close in the league. I think it's only 1 point, Tony was saying. It's obviously a big 3 points you can get here.
Manchester United started the season really slowly. They had loads and loads of draws, questions over Mark Skinner's future, but they've continued. They've only had one defeat in the league this season, and that was against Chelsea, Tony. Steve just said they're only a point behind us in the league. It just gives that even extra edge to this game today. If they win, they jump us. If we win, we open a nice gap.
Yeah, I think everyone always speaks about City and the attack and prowess. Well, everyone's speaking this year about Man United and their defence, so it is a case of defence v attack today, and who comes off better will win the game. I think, Tullis Joyce in goal for Manchester United has been absolutely brilliant, because teams have got in behind Manchester United this year, but she has stepped into Mary Earp's shoes this year and put in some unbelievable performances. So see how Medina gets on today against her. Can Jess Park get another goal in the derby? It'll be an interesting one, but I just think City need to be careful of Manchester United on the counter-attack, because they do have players, Bizet, Leah Galton with pace. We've seen Everton, how they really took the game to Manchester City, and in the transition, that's where they struggled. So I think City will be aware of that today and have to be on the guard for it.
You can see the teams are coming out there looking really smart, absolutely loving that tracksuit top. I'm just looking behind me and they're coming out onto the pitch now. There is an absolutely huge Manchester City banner in the middle of the pitch. Kirsten Kasperai doesn't want a tracksuit top. I love that. She's like, no, I'm not cold, I'm cool. And I love it. They're walking out as well, of course, with their mascots as well, which will be a big, big day for the mascots. There we go. There's Jess Park. We'll be hoping, of course, that she can get maybe 2 goals like she did in the last Manchester derby here. Could we get a quick score prediction from you both, please, Steve?
Oh, I thought you were going to go 21st. I'm going to go 2-1.
Oof, I was going to say that.
You can say it, Tony, it's all right.
I'll say 2-1. I'll say 2-1.
You're both going 2-1?
I'll tell you what, I'll go 3-1 then.
Okay, Steve, I like that. By the way, I've noticed Kirsten Kasperai gave her jacket to the mascot.
Oh, lovely.
At what point are we just going to give mascots jackets of their own? Because they always look a little cold, don't they? But good on Kirsten Kasperai, absolutely love her. Right, you can see the teams are on the pitch. It is time for the Manchester derby. Now, we are working her very, very hard today. Karen Barsley was with us for the men's game. She's now run down to do co-commentary for you today. So if you're not currently watching on the Manchester City app, you can get full commentary on there now. Switch over with the wonderful Nick and Karen Barsley. We will be here at half-time and full-time, because I'm looking forward to hearing more from Tony. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Natalie, Tony and Steve. Yep, you are very welcome. The Women's Super League returning weekend concludes with this heavyweight showdown between Manchester City and Manchester United. Kick-off here is 6:45. That all-important team news then: 6 changes from the 3-0 win over Ipswich Town in the FA Cup. So Women's Super League debut and a first Manchester derby for new signing Rebecca Nag. Jess Park and Yui Hasegawa return in midfield. Albert Fagino and Viva Maidamar are preferred up front to Chloe Kelly and Lily Murphy, who dropped to the bench, while Kiara Keating starts ahead of Ayaka